Our group decided to look into how the sexualization of women in mass media really affects women and how it is a great contributor to self-esteem issues, depression, and eating disorders. Our goal is to raise awareness and look into what people know about this issue. Our call to action or solution to this problem is not to end it, which would kind of be unrealistic, but instead raise awareness, which can help people be more conscious of the ideas society puts in their heads and be able to focus on their individual worth and uniqueness rather than striving for the demeaning, unreachable societal view of acceptability.
You can go first.
I think women are definitely very over sexualized in advertisements and movies and things.
I agree. I think women are very over sexualized. Women are set out to have a certain image and look a certain way, so that a certain.
Yeah, so I think that women are definitely portrayed in an interesting way. They're definitely gendered in mass media. For example, like video games. They wear different clothing, and it's definitely interesting to see how, recent capitalism, portrays women and it has an effect on society.
They're definitely like dressed kind of like scandalous. Like they have like less clothes on. Like they have a lot of makeup. They're always very skinny and like beautiful.
I think that women in today's society are very sexualized in social media, movies, everything like that.
Yeah, I think there's definitely a double standard between men and women, especially on social media or in commercials or in movies or just in general. In commercials or movies, women are always seen as like the people like cooking for their families and taking care of the kids, while the men are the ones working and not really around as much. So women are kind of put to a standard that they have to do those kind of things.
There is a way to stop sexualizing women. It all starts in the home. Our foundation, we need to be taught as kids that women are not what they're made to be in movies and everyday media, but instead they're fruitful, loving human beings.
Yes, I definitely agree. I think just from just like I said before, the ads, like how skinny and like little clothes they wear and stuff, like it definitely shows.
So I definitely agree that women are sexualized in today's culture for many reasons. There's definitely many aspects of mass media that, gender women and sexualize them. So it's definitely agree for that statement.
Why or why not?
It's definitely a problem because with social media being such a big platform today, all younger girls, little boys are looking at is like this image that people think that everyone has to look like. It's perfectionism and it doesn't exist. So it's a very big problem. Women are set out to be something that they're really not.
I agree, and I think a lot of the young girls growing up nowadays think that they have to look or act a certain way, and they're gonna change the way they are just so they can conform to the society's norm.
Yes.
I definitely think it's a problem because I think it affects everyone, or all women, I guess, in society, because they're expected to live up to this image that is honestly sometimes unrealistic, because just depending on everyone is born different. They can't just, and they're portraying a one side of a woman, and I think that's why there's so many issues with eating disorders, stuff like that, because they're expected to look like that, and they think that's what they need to look like.
Yeah, I definitely agree that's an issue because, personally, I think that there's more important things in life than your looks, internally, your intelligence and stuff like that is a lot more important than how someone else sees you and whether or not you're considered pretty or to the beauty standard in society that we have today.
So I definitely think this is a problem. And personally, I wouldn't want, a daughter to grow up in this type of society where women are gendered and viewed as a different viewed a different way by society. So I wouldn't want that.
I definitely think it's a problem because then like little girls grow up like thinking they have to be like skinny and beautiful and like sexual to like get guys and like to be like valued in society. So I think like it's a bad thing for like little girls to see and like grow up with. I think it makes them think that they have to be like there's a certain body image that they have to fit in, and if they aren't like the skinniest size 0, like they aren't going to be beautiful and they aren't going to be valued. And I think like it really affects girls' self-esteem.
I think that, like we said before, like it just affects women in the way that they think that they need to live up to like the standard that all women in society are held to, because of how they portray women as. And I think it just affects it affects them mentally, physically, like with thinking that you need to be this like skinny like stick figure with like these like this like nice ass and like big boobs, like stuff like that. Like you just like, but it's like not everyone's body's made the same. Like it's like, I don't know. That
Yeah.
makes sense.
I mean, like I said before, like if women like continue to be sexualized, then like I don't know. I think we should be focusing more on like other things, because if they continue to be sexualized, they're held at the lower standard, and then like they don't think that they'll be like good enough, or like that people will like want them to be in like higher positions in the world and stuff like that, because like we're just viewed as like objects, and like
I feel like we're
not
just
as
viewed as
smart.
like our looks.
Yeah,
Like not.
but like there's so much more
Yeah.
to a woman than just their looks. And like you were saying, like not every woman is like built the same, and like everyone's body's different, and there's more to looks than just being like skinny.
We deserve equality.
We do deserve equality.
I don't know if there's a way to stop it, but I think there's a way that we can put a ceiling on how high it gets. I think it's tough to control the capitalism, like I mentioned before, but at the end of the day, we can definitely take a step back.
I think by like I know like a lot of companies like Aerie and stuff, like they try to show like all different body types, and like they try to make sure like their models are like natural, like they're not wearing like so much makeup and they're not edited. And I think like if companies tried to like make women more realistic, then like it could change the way like women view themselves.
But do you think you could see this happening in the near future, or like?
I think it would take a lot. Like companies would have to change like their whole image. So like I don't know if that's realistic, but like I think that would be a way to stop the sexualization of women.
There's a solution to this problem. It all starts in your home. You need to be taught when you're young that women should not and are not portrayed as sexual objects, but they're real human beings. They're equal to you and me. So therefore, it needs to start when they're young and repeated multiple times throughout their
I did.
That's not shocking to you guys at all?
No.
Not at all. Which like really sucks.
Yeah. I feel like it's something you just like honestly see every day.
And I've actually definitely noticed it more, especially coming to college. I've never met anybody, or like I've
Yeah.
never met so many people and so many girls that have like eating disorders, or like just issues with like food, or
just the way they look, like
Yeah,
being
or,
like
like,
insecure.
the
There's
amount
so
of
much
girls
like
I've seen like
insecurity.
editing their pictures like
Yeah.
before posting them on Instagram, like editing their bodies because they think they're like too fat when like,
Yeah.
they're not.
But it's like, even why would you even like do that? I don't know. It just doesn't make sense. Like, you're portraying a different image of yourself just because it's social media, and like everyone else is like, all other women are like portrayed like that on social media, but it's not like your real self. So I don't know.
But no, it doesn't surprise me.
Did you know
I
that?
did not know that. But now I know. I actually didn't know that.
Anxiety?
Yes.
Is that shocking to you?
No, it's not shocking. I've had friends, family members have all these type of problems because they just don't think they're good enough. They see these like models, these Instagram girls, like everything, and it's a norm. That's what you're supposed to look like.
What about you, Jess?
I mean, Sid kind of summed it up. I totally agree. It's not surprising because I feel like women struggle more with their self-esteem and how they look. Than
Everybody
men
wants
do.
to look a certain way.
Yeah.
Pay a lot of money for it too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I definitely think that boys have higher expectations because they also see those types of ads and types of women, and I think that they can be mean to girls over if they don't fit what they see, and like they expect that. So I think I haven't personally been victimized, but I know like friends who have been like bullied or like made fun of by their body types or whatever just because like they're not meeting the standards of what guys see in ads.
I definitely have been victimized because girls don't want to post certain pictures. I mean, even me personally, you won't post a picture without it like looking perfect, without the filters being put on, like without knowing, like setting it in your group chat, like, oh my god, like which one do I post?
And what are the components for like a good picture? Like, what do you think?
Like white teeth, perfect skin, skinny, good lighting, good scenery. You just gotta look like you're living the best life.
Mm-hmm.
I agree because I feel like on Instagram, like, you see these girls and they don't even look like the same in person, and they just edit their waist so much and basically just trying to seem like the ideal woman and like so perfect. But I feel like that's definitely a problem in society.
Here, I got a good one for you. Ready? We live in a society where it's very normal to meet a girl in person and have no idea who she is because she edited herself so much on Instagram to try and look so perfect. But then when you see her in person, it's not her.
Catfishing.
She's a catfish.
Catfishing.
And it's normal, and like nobody thinks it's even bad these days. Like, you will literally go places and girls will be such catfish, but it's so normal.